this is my review of Happy Sugar Life. Okay, so this episode was interesting because we learned a little bit about Shio in this one. So, as has been established by me and several commenters, everybody in this series is a little bit crazy, and apparently Shio is no exception. While Sato is contemplating killing Asahi and whether or not she should actually do it, Shio actually is having a bit of a panic attack back at home because she's worried about Sato and how she hasn't come home yet. So she freaks out a bit and contemplates going outside to go look for her. And then a spirit or vision or whatever, heavily implied to be Shio's mother, but with her face blocked out, as we see later in the episode, actually volunteers to go with Shio and help her out. And we know it's a figment of Shio's imagination, but she still volunteers anyway, because apparently this person is important to Shio. We never actually see her face in this episode, so I'm not gonna picture her yet, but it's heavily implied that this figure is supposed to be Shio's mother in some capacity. So Shio goes outside to go look for Sato and gets hopelessly turned around and hopelessly lost, and it's established much later. But meanwhile, Sato, either because she sensed something was wrong at home, or because of other reasons that are never actually explained in the episode, she finally decides not to do it, and despite both Sato and Tayo trying and failing to be hospitable, Asahi just kind of walks out the back door and tries to head home. So at which point Sato decides to part ways as well to go home and begins contemplating what the feelings she had while viewing Asahi were, and eventually comes to the conclusion that they were jealousy, which cheers her up because she realizes that because these feelings were born from her feelings for Shio-chan, that this is a new feeling and therefore a good one. So she heads back to the apartment, now full of happiness, I guess, but also contemplates what she should do in case Shio and Asahi ever meet again, and contemplates that she would have to be strategic about it. At which point she arrives back at the apartment, only to discover that Shio has long since left, and begins panicking, realizing that Shio has never really been outside before, and has to go find her. And has a hard time doing it because if Shio doesn't know where she is, then Sato definitely doesn't. Meanwhile, Shio gets hopelessly turned around, hopelessly lost, as I said earlier, and actually winds up puncturing her foot with a piece of broken glass. And she begins at which point the figure, again implied to be her mother, decides to guides her toward help, and she follows her, not kind of confuses the whole situation, and she and Asahi actually pass pats and don't realize it, but then Tayo actually finds her, and we all know how Tayo feels about Shio, so this can only go one of two ways. At which point Tayo begins to panic a little bit because he never thought he would meet Shio, and asks her to remove his boo-boo, and make it feel better, which is implied to be the sexual assault by his former manager, because he even says as much to Shio when he meets her after he meets her and she tries to hail him. At which point, and she does do her best to make him feel better, tells him that he's a good person, and then they exchange names, and she realizes, and as she's comforting Shio realizes that she's done this before with the mysterious woman she keeps seeing, but realizes that she can't remember it. And this episode firmly establishes that Shio has memory loss, apparently. So Shio doesn't even remember her own family. She doesn't even remember that she has a last name. All she remembers is Sato, and that's kind of it. So it's clear that, so it's establishing that Sato actually really didn't kidnap Shio, but rather took her in because Shio is suffering from short or long term memory loss. I forget which, but she's suffering from memory loss and doesn't remember her family. So, and Shio kind of just swooped in and took advantage of the situation, I guess. And after explaining that she's lost to Tayo, Tayo agrees to help her find Sato. And the two realize that if Shio knows Shio and Tayo know each other, then obviously Tayo would know Sato. And indeed he does. He knows both of them, albeit he didn't really put together the connection. But for the time being, he volunteers to take her back to his house. At which point, he gets punched in the face by the guys he beat up, saving Asahi a couple hours ago. So, yeah, maybe not the most smartest move to come back to the scene of the crime. But that kind of thing happens. And it's also firmly established in this episode that Shio comes from an abusive household, and that her father was a bit of a mess, and that Asahi, her older brother, actually sent her mother and Shio away while he dealt with the father, saying that when he's bigger and stronger, he'll come find them. And obviously, that's kind of what's happening. He's putting out little bulletins to try and find her, but he's not really having much luck with it. But Shio, upon seeing Tayo hurt and seeing all of his blood going everywhere, begins to freak out a little bit, and it firmly establishes that yes, and she did indeed suffer at the hands of her father. So yeah, she definitely suffers from PTSD and memory loss, which are a dangerous combination. She doesn't know why she feels the way she does, but she knows that she feels bad. At which point we see the image of Shio's mother one last time, and then the screen cuts to black. We never see, and it's established that something happens, but we don't know what. At least not yet. I don't know. You guys probably know because you've probably seen this before, but I have not. It is a completely new experience for me, and I'm really okay with it. But yeah, this episode firmly establishes that Shio is suffering from memory loss, and Sato kind of just took her in. Because she realized that Shio can't go out in the world if she doesn't know how things work, and it doesn't even know who she is. So, but does know that also because kind of that Sato fell in love with Shio, that she decided that she needed to keep Shio safe. And she doing a hell of a job of it. In the half an hour since she's gone outside, she's gotten her foot punctured and been exposed to violence. That's not a good day. That's not a good job. But then again, Shio kind of left on her own accord, so who knows? But yeah, this episode firmly establishes that Shio is suffering from short-term memory from some sort of memory loss. Maybe short-term memory loss, probably, maybe long-term, but I don't know. But she clearly has memory loss and is suffering because of it, and kind of realizes that she should feel certain things for certain people, but realizes that she doesn't even know who they are, or doesn't even remember her last name. And she only learns her last name this time in the episode because Tayo says it out loud. That's all. That's the only time she realizes that she has a last name. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know she has a last name. So yeah, I'm assuming something happened that caused Shio's memory loss, but for right now, it's kind of in the dark. We don't know. The episode just establishes that it's a thing, and that it's something we need to look out for. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Happy Sugar Life. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out the bell. Click it so that you guys get all the notifications, because YouTube's notification system is a little bit wacky. And also, check out my Facebook and Twitter in the description below as well if you want to help check out and keep up to date with what's going on with the channel. I also post like news and gaming news and stuff like that over there. I retweet stuff over there, so be sure to check those out in the description below as well. And if you want to help support the channel, then be sure to check out my Patreon, either in the end screen or in the description. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out because it helps me improve the content for you guys, and then you guys get better content as a result, so you're basically paying for better content. I mean, yeah, this is kind of a two-way street. You give me money, I give you better video. So yeah, it's important that you guys check that out if you want to help improve the show. But it's only a couple bucks a month, so it's kind of worth your time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!